I stood frozen in the middle of Dallas International Airport, my suitcase by my side, my phone pressed against my ear. My mother's sweet voice rang through the line, but her words made my stomach turn. "We're in Honolulu. Why didn't you come to the airport yesterday, sweetie?" For a moment, I couldn't breathe. The truth hit me like a wave crashing onto the shore. They had lied. My parents had deliberately given me the wrong flight date. I wasn't just late, I had never been meant to come at all. My name is Joselyn Adams, and I never thought my own parents would betray me like this. For months, I had been looking forward to this family vacation. My job as a marketing executive had drained every ounce of energy from me. I had spent weeks hosting overseas clients, working long hours, and barely having time for myself. This trip was supposed to be my reward, a chance to finally unwind, sit by the beach, and reconnect with my family. But now, I was standing alone in the airport while they were sipping cocktails under the Hawaiian sun. "What do you mean, yesterday?" I finally managed to say, my voice shaking. "You told me the flight was today at 2 p.m. I have the text messages to prove it." The airport around me felt suffocating. People rushed past, eager for their own trips, their laughter and excitement making my betrayal sting even more. "Oh, sweetie, there must have been some confusion," my mother replied, but I could hear it in her voice, the hesitation, the slight nervousness. "She was lying. Your sister made it just fine. We're all settled in at the resort now." Of course, Amy made it. My younger sister was always their priority, the golden child, the favorite. Looking back, I should have known something was wrong. My parents had insisted on handling all the travel plans. "It'll be easier that way," they had said. I didn't question it, even though they usually relied on me for everything, managing their bills, booking their doctor appointments, even helping with their taxes. Somehow, they could handle this trip without my input. "This wasn't a mistake, Mom." My voice grew stronger as anger replaced the shock. "You deliberately gave me the wrong date. You didn't want me there, did you?" Silence. Then, finally, "Now, Joselyn, don't be dramatic. These things happen." I ended the call, my hands trembling. Around me, families embraced before their flights, while I stood there, alone, abandoned, betrayed. And yet, the irony was cruel. For the past 2 years, I had been their financial lifeline. Every month, I sent them money to help cover their bills, their mortgage, their groceries, even unexpected medical expenses. I covered it all. I had given up so much to ensure they were taken care of. And yet, when it came to a family vacation, they had made it clear, I wasn't part of the family. My phone buzzed. A message from Amy. A photo of my parents and her, standing on a pristine beach, tropical drinks in hand. The caption read, "Family vacation begins. Missing you, sis. Wish you could have made it." My vision blurred with unshed tears, but more than sadness, I felt a deep, burning anger. I started scrolling through my past text messages. The pattern was clear. Every conversation about the trip had been carefully planned to mislead me. The flight's at 2 p.m. On the 15th, Mom had texted, but Amy's Instagram story told a different story. A photo of their boarding passes from yesterday, the 14th, clear as day. It hadn't been a mistake, it had been intentional. My phone rang again. My father. "Joselyn," he said in his usual commanding tone, "your mother is very upset with you. We made an honest mistake, and you're turning this into a drama. You're a grown woman, you should understand these things happen." I let out a bitter laugh. "An honest mistake? Then why did Amy have the correct date? Why did you insist on booking everything yourselves? And why have you been lying to me for weeks?" "Now listen here," he started, but I didn't let him finish. "No, you listen. I just checked my bank statements. Last week, I sent you $3,000 for this trip. Was that a mistake too, or did you take my money knowing you were going to leave me behind?" Silence, then a sigh. "Joselyn, you know we're on a fixed income. We needed that money for the trip. You're doing so well in your career, you understand about making sacrifices for family, don't you?" My hands shook as I gripped the phone. Sacrifices? My voice was barely above a whisper, but every word dripped with rage. "I've spent years sacrificing for this family. I gave up my savings, my dreams of buying a house, everything, to support you, and this is how you repay me? Don't be selfish," he snapped. "Your sister needed this vacation. She's been under so much stress with her acting career." I felt my anger boil over. "Her acting career? You mean the hobby you've been funding with my money while she lives rent-free in your house?" That's enough, he barked. I won't stand for this disrespect. You've changed, Joselyn. Money has made you cruel. I took a deep breath, feeling something shift inside me. The hurt was still there, but now it was hardening into resolve. You're right about one thing, Dad. I have changed, and things are about to change even more. I hung up and opened my banking app. It was time to close the Bank of Joselyn, permanently. I sat at my desk, staring at the email one last time before hitting send. Subject: Financial support ends. I am cutting off all financial support. The money I've provided was a choice, not an obligation. You'll need to find another way to cover your expenses. Do not contact me about money again. I need time and space to reevaluate our relationship. Thanks. The moment I clicked send, my phone buzzed. Then it buzzed again. Within minutes, it was ringing non-stop. My mother left frantic, sobbing voicemails, wailing about how they would lose the house. My sister Amy sent angry, scathing texts, calling me selfish and heartless. My father's messages became progressively more threatening, warning me about the consequences if I didn't come to my senses. I blocked them all. That evening, sitting alone in my tiny apartment, doubt crept in. Years of conditioning had trained me to put their needs first, to feel guilty for setting boundaries. But then, I remembered standing at that airport, heart pounding, as I realized they had planned and executed their betrayal while using my money. I shook my head. No. Enough was enough. The next day at work, I received an unexpected visit. My Aunt Rose, my father's sister, walked into my office. I heard what happened, she said, taking a seat across from me. Your parents asked me to talk sense into you. I braced myself for another guilt trip, but Rose surprised me. What they did was cruel, Joselyn. I've watched them take advantage of your kindness for years. It's time someone told you the truth. You deserve better than this. Tears welled up in my eyes as she reached across the desk and squeezed my hand. Finally, someone in my family saw me, really saw me. They'll try everything to pull you back in, Rose warned. Stay strong. You're doing the right thing. 2 weeks later, I discovered something that made the Hawaii betrayal look insignificant in comparison. Rose called me during my lunch break, her voice tight with concern. Joselyn, I need to show you something. Can you come to my house after work? That evening, I sat at her dining table, staring at the stack of papers she had spread before me. Your father came to me last week asking for a loan, Rose explained. He let slip some things that didn't add up, so I did some digging. What she showed me made my blood run cold. Bank statements, loan applications, credit card bills, it was all there. My parents hadn't just been using my money for basic expenses. They had been living well beyond their means, counting on my support to fund their extravagant lifestyle. Look at this, Rose pointed to a credit card statement. They took out a new card in your name 3 months ago. Have you checked your credit report recently? My hands trembled as I pulled out my phone and downloaded my credit report. There it was, a $155,000 credit card balance under my name. I had never opened that account. They used my social security number, I whispered. They stole my identity. Rose's expression was grave. That's a crime, Joselyn. I could barely breathe. How could they do this to me? There's more, Rose said. Remember how they told you Amy was in California, chasing her dream of becoming an actress? She's not there. She never was. I looked up, confused. What do you mean? Amy never moved. She's been living at home this entire time, working part-time at a coffee shop. The money your parents claimed was for headshots and acting classes. They used it for gambling. I felt like the room was spinning. The constant requests for money, the vague explanations, the guilt trips when I questioned them, it wasn't just manipulation. It was fraud. My phone buzzed. A text from my mother. Mom, sweetie, we need to talk. Your father's having chest pains from all this stress. If anything happens to him, it'll be your fault. I showed the message to Rose. She sighed. More manipulation. They're desperate because their house of cards is collapsing without your money. What should I do? I asked, my voice barely above a whisper. You have two choices, Rose said. You can press charges for identity theft, or you can handle this privately. But either way, you need to protect yourself. I thought about all the years I had sacrificed for them. The vacations I never took, the house I never bought, the savings I should have had. The chest pains, the tears, the guilt trips, it was all a game to them. I want to talk to them one last time, I decided. Face to face. But I need you there with me. Rose nodded. I'll set it up. But first, we need to gather evidence and freeze your credit. They've shown you who they really are, Joselyn. Believe them. That night, I lay awake in bed, staring at the ceiling. For the first time in years, the fog of manipulation was lifting. And in its place, I felt something new, clarity. They wanted to play games? Fine. But this time, I was making the rules. The confrontation was set for Saturday at Rose's house. That morning, I met with a lawyer to discuss my legal options. Then, I organized a folder with all the evidence, bank statements, text messages, credit reports. I was ready. When my parents arrived, Amy was with them. She looked nothing like the carefree girl in those Hawaii photos. She looked tired. Guilty. Thank you for coming, I began, keeping my voice steady. I've discovered some things we need to discuss. Joselyn, my mother interrupted, her voice already breaking. Before you say anything. No, I cut her off. I'm talking now. I pulled out the credit card statements. Would anyone like to explain this? The color drained from my father's face. Amy looked confused. My mother jumped in quickly. It was an emergency. We were going to tell you. An emergency? I laid out more papers. Like the gambling debts? The maxed out credit cards? Or maybe Amy's fake acting career? Amy's head snapped up. What do you mean, fake? I turned to her. They told me you were in California pursuing acting. That's where all my money supposedly went. Amy's face twisted in shock. What? I've been working at Starbucks. They told me you refused to help with my college tuition. The room erupted in chaos. Amy started crying. My mother tried to explain. My father's face turned red with anger. Enough, he shouted. You don't understand. Oh, I understand perfectly, I said, pulling out my final piece of evidence. You committed identity theft. That's a federal crime. My mother collapsed into dramatic sobs. My father clutched his chest. My heart, he gasped. Call an ambulance. I almost fell for it. But then I saw my mother's face, not panic, but calculation. This was their final play. No more manipulation, I said firmly. Either you sign a repayment agreement, or I press charges. Silence. Finally, my father nodded, defeated. And Amy? Amy looked at me like she was seeing me for the first time.